All right. Okay. I am going to get on Facebook here and figure out where I'm at and see if I can't see the feed. Oh, there I am. Comments. Dave Bussman's in the house. How's the sound out there? Jesus S, aka Jesus, my riding buddy from Ryan Howe days. Jesus, good to see you, man. I gotta get out to Florida. Clayton, hey, good to see you. So how's the sound quality here? I've totally revamped the whole thing. When I say I did it, I mean an expert did it. And hey, look at this mug my daughter got me. Can you read that? It says, "Dad, you are my father." She has a good sense of humor. You guys hear my audio, the mic, okay? Somebody give me a thumbs up. Modesto, I know about Modesto. Hey, Russ. It sounds good in the headphones. You guys hear my talking okay? Got another thumbs up. Good, man. Well, thank you guys for showing up. I'm just kind of doing a walkthrough, the new setup here, and just want to show you some stuff that's going on and some plans for what we're doing, what I'm doing. You know, I play in a couple of bands here in town. I play in a band called Blue String Theory. And we play at the Westgate every Friday night, and we've been doing some showrooms. We just did the Santa Fe Chrome, which was an amazing place. And we got another one of those coming up. I also play with a band called Rock Roulette every now and then, and both bands have stellar front people, singers, great performers, great artists, great talent. Brian Pollock and Blue String Theory, Sean Coey and Rock Roulette. And, you know, if you get on my Facebook page and follow it, you can see where we're playing. Yeah, Scott Taylor said no lag today. Yeah, I figured it out. I'm going in and out of the same unit. it came down to a $4 cable. Doesn't it always come down to a $4 cable? It's really a great setup though. I got overhead lights. I think the lighting's good. You guys can see me okay, right? I got a couple of different camera angles which I can change on this little switcher, so that's the overhead. And then I got the real overhead, which is the crazy room. I got my door partially open because my cat, he usually don't let me come in here without him, and he may show up. You'll meet him in a minute. So I got that one. I also have my my website, which I'll get into that in a little bit. But I wanted to go over, just show you around the room, and also just like give you a little bit of a lesson. I teach. I'm gonna start with that. Let me get to the. Let's see if you see behind me. You see SVZGS is scottvanzenguitarschool.com. This is one of the cool things about this new setup is if I can get to that. All right, so this is my website, so this is my laptop, which is very cool, but I teach guitar. I have, and if you go to SVZGS or scottvanzenguitarschool.com, you can get a free lesson right here, get free video training, and check it out, okay? I'm always running specials. I think I've learned more from teaching than almost anything, because if you can teach somebody how to do something, you've got to know how, otherwise you won't be able to explain it. So you got to have it down yourself. So, this shows some examples of what I do, and there's a variety of we'll go into that in a second here, a variety of new or of programs in the store here. So it's like you can try it out for a week, and if you don't like it, cancel it. But I got a beginning guitar course if you're just starting, and a variety of other packages. I've been doing this, for decades now. I will say with confidence, I'm pretty dang good at it. I can help you out. So you can make a gift, so give somebody a guitar lessons, man. It saved my life, I'll tell you that. I also give private coaching. Best just, message me on Facebook and we can set that up. That's usually how I do that. So that is the deal there. I'm going to go back over to here. So if you're interested in guitar lessons or private coaching, I also do sessions, over the internet quite a lot. And that's another thing I can do. But I want to talk about my record label just a little bit here, called Love Conquered Records. And I want to get to my page here. Give me a second. Let me find this, and then where is it? I know it's here. Oh, it always happens when you need to find something and you can't. It's so small now. Okay, here we go. 1 second here. Loading. There we go. Okay, so this is my page. It's scottvanzenofficial.com. Scott Van Zen Official. Hey, the owner of the label's here. John. Say hi to John, everybody. John Hopen, good friend of mine. So he put all this together. Him and I did the music, but he put the whole deal together. He's got some great artists. He supports artists, which is a big deal these days because it takes a little set of cojones to do that with all of the things that are against you. But John does that. And he's formed a team around himself and me, and we're kind of going for it here. So this is one of the things I'd like you guys to check out. This is scottvanzenofficial.com, and you can get on my mailing list just to find out what I'm up to with this sign up now thing, and you can buy the record, Trouble, right there. I got some cool merchandise Steve Park did this. He was Prince's photographer, and he is really, really cool with visual stuff. He took all the photos from the record, but like here's my CD, Trouble. You can get that. And check out my t-shirt. I see these at the shows in Vegas a lot, which is great. My SBZ there. I wear them. John wanted me to wear it, but I couldn't find it. I think I wore it this weekend and it got dirty, maybe in the laundry, and I didn't want it to look all wrinkly. So, but there it is. I have a vinyl EP, which is so cool looking. And somebody came up to me at the show this weekend and said, wow, this thing is sounds great and is awesome, and they loved it, and I love it. It's kind of so neat to have vinyl. I grew up on vinyl. I'm an old fart that way. Here's one for the girls, a crop top. Of course, mostly what I'm seeing is girls get them and just rip them apart and put holes in them and make them their own. A shot glass, very cool shot glass. That one's always sold out. I don't know if it is right now. Here's a hat. I think I got one of those hats here. It's the hat. You can see the emblem. Can you see the emblem? It's like ghosted into the front. It's really cool. Yeah, there we go. Look at that. See? This one's a smaller size, so my big old egoed out head won't fit in it. Then there's a package of like, you know, all of this stuff with the signed bundle and the hat, and it's like kind of a combo of all of it. So look, you know, I mean, this, put it to you, you know, in plain terms, it's like these days you got to do what you got to do to be an artist. They've kind of stole the record play payment from us by streaming, and the rich get richer, and you know, we got to kind of kick and scrimp and do what we got to do this original music, and I don't mind it. You know, nobody's really getting rich off this stuff anymore, but I just every time you support, when you buy stuff, you end up supporting us. So I appreciate that when you do that. So there you go. If you there's my school and my record label, and you know, that's very helpful to you know, if you support those things, you end up supporting me, and we keep being able to do what we do. So SVZ, you see it right behind this way, right behind me, SVZGS, and then the other label. The label is scottvanzenguitarschool.com. So I don't know who's out there that actually plays. Okay, so here's a question. Tarek asks, "What is your amp setup, sir?" Somebody else here. My dad wasn't even sir, so none of us are, but I appreciate that. You know, I use exclusively Kemper these days, Tarek. I had a big amp collection. I actually sold it. I profiled everything. So I have a Kemper profiler in the studio right now, and I'm using a Marshall 800 amp. And I just go through, like, here's a clean setting. That's like number one. Number two is the same thing with a little bit of a flanger on it. And then it starts getting, there's five, it's a little crunchy, but it's the same amp, so a little more gain. For Honky Tonkin and Tom Petty. You know, just a down and dirty kind of sound. This then I move it up, add a little more gain for more rock. you know, for like Van Halen and AC/DC and you know, that kind of stuff. And then the last one is a lead. It's the same thing with a little delay in it. You know, I just love it, and I just recently had a guy help me out to set up another button switcher on the other side of the stage. So when I play live, I got in-ears and this side. I only run them in one side, and then so I can hear the mains with the other ear, and then I have a foot switch. You know, here in front of me, but also on the other side of the stage, I'm wireless. I have the thing that I can toggle back and forth, so I can basically be anywhere on either side of the stage and play, which is just a lot of fun for that. So thanks for asking about that. You know, it's pretty rare people even ask questions. I always say, have your what are a bong? This guy says I give bong lessons. What the hell is a bong lesson? That doesn't sound. The hell's a bong lesson? I'm just scrolling back up to see if there's any questions I missed. Nope. So I want to talk about a metronome, and I'll use the one here. I use this type of metronome because it's an old school one. I don't know if you can hear this here. It'll probably be out of time because I'm holding it. It's got to be completely straight. So I love that in an amp to work out. And my workout routine, you know, I get asked about this, and I do an hour of discipline every morning. And I'm going to tell you what that means here in a second. It takes about 2 hours because I do 5-minute increments. I have a timer. I set it to 5 minutes. Just like this, and I will put on a metronome, sometimes without a metronome if I'm doing workouts, but let's talk about the metronome workout. And so I'm going to use the one in my setup here so we can hear it. All right, so if I got, click should be, oh, that's way too slow. Let's kick it up here. So if I have something like that, I might go, I set the timer for 5 minutes, and I might do down, 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 up, 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 down, 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 up, 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 on a scale. So like down, 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 up, 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 down, 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 up. You know, something as simple like that. I'm not going to bore you with all the you know, those, you guys can figure that out. But it's like maybe maybe I'll do like just a scale. Now I could also find increments within that time. So it's like if I go quarter notes, I go eighth notes, triplets. 16th. You know, stuff like that. I might do a pull-off thing, like, so I'm doing a hammer on here. Let me stop that for a second. So I hammer on. So I'm on 5 with the second finger. I'm on 7 with the 4th finger. Then I'm pulling off to the 3rd fret, and then pulling off to 0. So the frets are 5, 7, 3, and open. And the fingering is 2, 4, 1, and open. And fingering is the closest to the thumb is 1, and next one is 2, 3. The smallest one is 4. So hammer, hammer, pull off, pull off. It's a great exercise. Been doing it for years. From Eddie Van Halen, of course, my hero, best guitar player, all-around guitar player. Not that there's a best, but if you had to choose somebody, he would be my, he would have my vote. All right. I certainly stayed out of a lot of trouble because I was trying to learn what he did on the guitar instead of out running around with my rambunctious friends who were getting thrown in juvie and shit like that, and I wasn't. So hammer on, hammer, hammer, pull off, pull off. So I might set a timer and do this for 5 minutes. After I get warmed up. Switch strings. Maybe throw a bend into it. And all I'm doing there is when I get to the second finger, I'm pulling down. Hard to stay in time with right there. So, you know, having let me get back to this so I can see what you guys are saying. Having hey Louie, good to see you, bud. Having a timer, you know, I can commit to something for 5 minutes, whatever it is. And then I do little, you know, where you draw a line, 1, 2, 3, 4, and then 1 through it. Yeah, I do that 12 times, so it becomes an hour. But it's like I started today. I got up late because I was out playing poker last night. Actually, I hadn't done that ever. And I won $20 after hours of playing. Better than losing, I guess. You know, you know, it took 2.5 hours to get that hour in from messing around with the phone and stuff like that. But I make sure to do that. Now, I was talking to somebody about this today. You know, I had cancer around a couple 3 years ago, and one of the things that kept me one of the biggest things that kept me going was the guitar. I made a decision because I was just mentally beating myself up that I would practice 2 hours a day like that. So it really took a long time, and it was like I was beat up. I was doing radiation and chemotherapy and all this, very weak, and wasn't eating hardly at all. Wasn't eating at all, actually. For 7 weeks, I had no food. I was only doing liquid stuff because it was tonsil. I couldn't, my throat was on fire. But, you know, that's what the guitar did for me. And when I've told some people, some of you guys know this, when I was a kid, I grew up in this crazy household, a lot of drinking, and it was crazy. But when I found the guitar, you know, it just saved me. So I play for different reasons. I use it for focus. It keeps me young, whatever that means. You know, I love it. I get up early. My wife has to get up super early to go to work, and sometimes she's up at 4:30, and I'm like, all right, I'm staying up, and I just make a big old pot of coffee, and I just get to it. And you know, when my friends are waking up, I'm already put in a whole day, nap time, and then another day, and I get 2 days out of one day. You know, I'm at the get out of my yard age. Hey, you kids, that when the ball comes in my yard, I grab it, I go, it's mine now. Anyway, so a couple things about guitar playing for me. You know, the bands I play in are difficult. The guys are top notch. They sing, and Sean and Rock Roulette, they sing a variety of styles. We do all the, you know, the top bands like that, and you got to be on your toes. And I have to go from Stevie Ray Vaughan to Van Halen to, you know, Deep Purple to Foreigner to Neil Sean to whatever. And so these are a lot of my heroes. I got to really stay on top of it. So part of that is what am I going to need to do? at the gig. Like if I'm playing Neil Sean and I've got to do, do a like something like that. Well, what's involved with that? Well, and that actually was pretty shabby in my opinion. I would have to step it up, but it was a little pitchy, so I'd have to work on that. But I got to work on half step bends because it's this half step here, which is a lot different. Most people only blend. Most of the guys bend whole step. So if you're going to need a half step bend, work on half step bends. The way you do that, tape a D on something, and then go match it. I don't have them both running right now, but you'll hear it. And it'll be when you're right on the money. It'll be there. Or the other way you can get your bending really in tune, because usually most people are flat. Okay, use a tuner. It'll show you, like, the thing. Here's in tune right here. It'll boom. You'll know when you're exactly on. The Kempers have a really cool old school strobe, so it's like when you hit it in tune in time, it's exact. So if you need half step bends, work on that. If you're gonna need slides, work on slides. Overemphasize at least 30% more than what you're going to need, because when you get live and your tone isn't what you're used to, and some guy's giving you a hard look because he reminds you of somebody he don't like, and it's just a bad night or whatever, you have to be able to focus through that and still play. Otherwise, somebody else will take your gig. At least in Vegas, it's that way. There's a lot of great musicians here. It's amazing how many great players are in Vegas. If you come here, come to Fremont Street and walk around and listen, you won't hear a bad band. I mean, I'm fans of all these bands. They're great. I feel honored to be in the ones that I'm in. There's a precedence for entertainment, and just get her done. Like, let's go, so you got to be on top of your game. And the band I'm in, these guys were doing it for years before I got to them. So I was like, holy crap, these guys, we do medleys, and they got this momentum. And now I'm like in the pocket, but it was just from, you got to work it, right? So if you're going to need, big bends, big vibratos, to be fast, whatever, work on that. If there's a solo you got to learn, set a timer. I'm going to work on the solo for this for 5 minutes, and then take a break, and then set a timer and do it again for 5 minutes. Like, just make sure that you're prepared, that you have gone over what you're going to need. Don't ever do this, which so many people do. Well, that's good enough. Like, play a whole song. Play the whole song again, play it again. Then when you get there, it'll be like, okay, I can focus on having fun because I've practiced this. You won't be like freaking out because your tone is bad and all that kind of stuff. I was talking to somebody somebody I gave a guitar lesson to 30 years ago. And we were talking today, but we were talking about, and he's an accomplished musician with records and all this stuff, but we were talking about, I said, I don't know if I told you this, but this is what I say in teaching. It's like, you got to be honest with yourself about your music. Like, if you do a vibrato and it's like, something like that, did it work? And if your friend goes, your drunk friend, you were great, man, and you believe that, well, that's as far as you're going. But if it wasn't right, then what do you need to do to fix it? So do you need to maybe hold it for a second and then start it? So when you do a vibrato and you need one, make sure that whatever you're going to need is there. So there's my 2 cents worth, or whatever. I don't know if that was 2 cents worth. Listen, all right, so Mario's got a couple questions. Can you tell us the story about when you recorded an axe to grind with Ken Tamplin? And is there a current new guitarist you like? Yes, yes to both. The Ken Tamplin, I'm gonna save that one, Mario, for another time because I'll probably want to talk more extensively about Ken. If you guys are vocal singers, check out Ken Tamplin Vocal Academy. He's probably the most well-known guy online, but I've done half dozen records with him. He's one of my best friends and one of the best people I know. My first record is this one Mario's asking about, An Axe to Grind. I'll talk about that later. As far as new current guitarist, Eric Steckel, man. I mean, he says he loves Gary Moore, and I just think he's so much better than Gary Moore, if you can be so much better than Gary Moore. But Eric Steckel is a great, and I got something coming out, a special surprise with him and another guy, a triple threat guitar thing that'll be coming out. That you guys will dig, a video that we did. So check him out. And then also on the other front, I'm going to be having some guests in here with me, jamming. I can point a camera at somebody, probably bring in the singers from the band and other friends and players and just see what we can come up with here, there's a song I did during the pandemic called Government Cheese, which got, I don't know, got 100,000 eyes on it and maybe then some. But we just tracked it for the record, so we're going to be putting that out pretty soon. So I'll debut that on one of these. And, let me know what you guys want to hear or what you want to see on these little hangs. I have stopped watching regular TV for the most part, and I just watch people doing this, like regular people just kind of hanging out. Talking about what they do, whether it's a guitar maker, an amp guy, or some guy with some conspiracy theory or something that's just entertaining TikTok shit. This is a great way to connect. And like I said, we'll be doing some shows, and then also for people that want to support, give them some different ways to make donations or get on subscription things and stuff like that. For now, just if you want to check out the label and my guitar school, that's more helpful than you know. God bless you for anything, any little thing you can do. And I appreciate it. So that's about it for now. Anybody? Here's thanks, Don. Yeah, I love Government Cheese too. Wait till you hear the studio version of it. It's going to be a fun one. And the reason I said Government Cheese is 'cause my mom used to get Government Cheese when I was a kid. It was actually pretty good, and it was a massive block of cheese. So that's basically what's going on. But what do you think of the new setup? We get it's working pretty cool, right? That's right, I don't wear shoes in here. All right, you guys. Hey, listen, thanks a lot for hanging out with me, and I'm going to take off now. But like I said, let me know. We're going to be doing more of these, and I'll give you more of a heads up and announcement. I think we're even going to try some other formats along at the same time. The technical part of that is we're getting there now. I think we got it to where you could hear it You can see me if my fingers are moving. It's not a, it's when I'm moving them for the most part. What about when I do something? Yeah, that's pretty close, right? All right, you guys. God bless you, man. Thanks a lot. See you next time. Bye-bye.